Hello, gamers. Before we start this presentation, I have a very important announcement. I am swapping my schedule around a little bit due to scheduling stuff with some people. Uh, my streaming schedule will now be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at noon Pacific Standard Time. Uh, that being said, you can still find me on Twitch now on those days. If you like my stuff, consider following me there even. You can also find me on Bluesky and Tumblr at BigBar1, as well as here on YouTube. I would really appreciate a lick and subscribble. And with that, back to your regularly scheduled program. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? I'm here once again. Uh, As you can see, the schedule change is implemented. I am now here on Thursdays. Uh, the VOD for last week's Friday stream should still come out on Friday because that is a week after it happened. But after that, the upload schedule will also change to accommodate. It's giving me a bit extra time to sort of shift up how I do uh how I do editing. Which I'm getting better at. I'm getting better at editing, which is wonderful. It is great. I can see myself improving in a lot of ways. Speaking of improving, today I'm going to be, as the name and as the announcements imply, I am going to be drawing concept art for my funny clown game. Which I've sort of talked about. I've got to be splitting up the ideas into two separate games. I'm starting with the first one, which has a much more like concrete identity. Um, I actually got some designs from my friend, who just decided I'm going to do concept art. And so I have a couple of like initial designs. Uh, I'm not gonna work on one of them because I want to keep it a secret. I want to keep it a secret from people because it's really funny. It's so funny. I love the design so much. But like, there's one I'm gonna show.
Sorry for your tail.
Right. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited. So I'm going to switch over to art time. And I am going to go to Outer Wilds music. And we are going to be epic and cool. So I'm still sort of debating on what exactly the art style is gonna be like. But I think I'm gonna start with look at him go. Look at him. My friend drew this. This is like the best thing that he's ever drawn, I think. Look at that old guy. Look at him. Look at it! Look at it!
Sorry, Nanoms. Mwah. Let me readjust my hair and then get my arm back in that position.
There we go. Okay. So I'm thinking it would be really interesting if the line art stayed kind of sketchy, a little bit loose, sort of like, my sketchy style. I think that would be very fun. Uh, and I want to have the different parts of the character models to move sort of models, the character art to have segments sort of like those shadow puppets. While I take something off of my shelf that I'm inside of right now. Uh, and that will allow me to animate everything better because I won't need to redraw every frame of everything all the time. Yeah, I think that would be cool and awesome. So I'm just gonna go with black sketch lines. Fun fact, I did not just wake up. I've been up since 7 my time. So I've been up a while. I've been getting back into How to Train Your Dragon, as could probably be told, could probably have been guessed by last stream when I said that I was getting back into How to Train Your Dragon. And I was looking at some of the concept art for that game, and a game for those movies, particularly How to Train Your Dragon 2. Uh, and some of that stuff is very inspirational in terms of style. Uh, I'm very hopeful. I don't want that angle. I want a downwards angle. There we go. I wanted a downwards angle because downward angle is awesome and cool. My friend gave me the idea for this character as the main antagonist, basically, just an incredibly depressed, always drinking a wine, sort of character. The sort of the cadence of the voice and the just general like energy of the character inspired a lot by Grubhub from from the Bravo Alpha Boosa Turnip 28 videos. Just, I'm tired of you, I'm going to send you to hell. And then he actually sends you to hell before you die. He demands boxed wine. He is incredibly small, as you could probably see, and the joke was that rent was raised by 1800, and he could no longer afford rent, so he sleeps in an empty boxed wine box. I drink some Chardonnay. You're going to hell. God, the way I'm drawing him, he looks like a blobfish. Look at this. Look at this man. He's a blob. He's a blobbed fish. May the blob be upon you. Just he he's at the circus straight up blobbing it, and by it, let's just say his fidge. Okay, I'm gonna grab my phone now because it's been charging and now it has enough charge so that I can see everything on my phone. There we go. This is definitely one of the best things my friend has ever drawn so far. Along with the other thing that I won't talk about because I want to keep it a funny little secret. A funny little schneekret. Static. Let's do that amount of time. Save. Clear up to 4 hours. Sick. Updating my status on Discord. And while the sort of idea of this person's design, this funny little individual, is that instead of like wearing like funny Cirque du Soleil type outfits, very elaborate, colorful. This dude's in his bathrobe. This is, he is in pajamas. He is straight up Scrooging it. And by it, let's just say his McDuck. By the way, I added a tiny little bounce to my PNG tuber when he talks, so not too much. Not too much. I wanted it to be a bit faint, especially for the just chatting screen. But it is there now. I do bounce a funny little bit. That was a little critique that one of my friends said about my PNG tuber is that there is no bounce to when I talk. So I added it a little bit. I had to readjust some things to do it, but it was not an issue. It took maybe like 5 minutes. I love this look so much. He will send you back to the birth of the universe. Notice that my friends and I both all like clowns with funny like crying bits here. Like a face paint that looks kind of like crying. And this little dude is just down on his luck. I know it would be difficult and would probably be a bad idea, but it would be very funny to have sort of like a little bit of a physics simulation on this guy's beard, sort of like how Madeline in Celeste has like the hair. As it is moving, it's like it sort of follows along very silly. But you see, it's his beard. This is the saddest little guy I've ever seen.
Okay, I guess you can leave. Get out of my fucking sight. I want you gone.
And like I think it would be fun if like he wasn't even like doing anything because he wanted to do it. Like he has a boss. He has a boss telling him to do this and he just does not want to be here. He does not want to be. He wants to go home. He wants to sleep in his little wine curtain and he wants to drink, god damn it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, oh, oh my god. This little dude so much. I love him. He is my little Blorbo now, I guess.
I am not Blubbo. I want to go home. I want to go fucking home. I want to go fucking home. I want to go home and drink my wine. I want to drink my wine. I want to go bed. I want to go belly bag time. Please.
I love this old dude. I love this old dude so much. He he has to have like a bit of a slouching posture. Like that is that is demanded of him.
I want to go home.
My friend and I also had the idea of him like being really annoying to get to, but once you get to him, it's just like one quick little bap and he's down. Wizards are nerds you can easily punch.
I want to go home. I want belly bird. I want belly bird time. Let me go home.
This little dude's very silly.
I want to go home. I want bed. I want EP. Let me go.
Just imagine that we meet this guy in the concession stand, like he's sort of halfway into the popcorn machine. He goes,
You annoy me. You're going to hell.
and then he sends you to hell, and then there's like a fun like hell slash mind palace sort of level. Let me fix the Fienders. Let me fix the fucking Fienders. There we go. He's Eepy, the goer to bed. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love him so much. I love him so much I want to squish him in my hands.
I become Eepy, the goer to bed. Oh, mommy, will I fucking get you?
He's a he's a fucking wizard. Those feet are too small. I'm going to change something.
I'm the Eepy goer bed.
Gotta be funny if he was like, you make me tired, go to bed, and then like makes you sleep and then you go into a dream world. I'm gonna have to redraw this. I'm going to have to draw this foot. I'm talking in this cadence now because it's silly. Help me. I have
I have the mouth and I must scream.
oh, he's the best. Oh, he's so good. Let me lower this down to like 75. Lower this down to like 14. Fix that because sometimes that happens, but sometimes it don't. Let me actually lower it to like 8. I am deeply a fan of this. I am such a fan of this. Oh my god, look at him. Look at him go. Look at him just He's kind of standing there like a cryptid.
I'm tired. I'm gonna go bed.
I am deeply enthused by this little man. Funny little man. There he is. I am like so deeply excited about this little dude just kind of existing. Alright. Readjusting. My cat just jumped off my lap. My leg is asleep. The fact that this dude is planned to be like the main antagonist of my funny game, of my funny silly game, is awesome. Because I see people watching the stream. Hello, hello, hello. So to explain this design, my friend drew this as like kind of a bit, and allowed me to take it and use it for my project. So, uh, here, here, here he is. Look at him! Look at him go! Look at him go! Dudes will look at this and go, hell yeah. Oh, my leg's waking up. Oh, my leg's waking up. Oh, my leg's waking up. I hate that. Oh my god. Give me just a moment as he stares sadly into your eyes. He looks sadly into your eyes and sends you straight to hell before you die. Okay. Ow. My leg! Okay, I have an idea for these sleeves. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I will have to edit that out. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. I love my family dearly. Sometimes they don't knock on my door. They don't knock on my door when I'm doing things. He's like, I never close my door. I never close my room door unless I'm actively doing something where I need people to not enter my room suddenly. I'll use my space magic against you. Go to fucking hell. I'm tired of you talking. Please go die. I'm tired. I can't kill you. Go to hell. I appreciate that my said family that I was saying before cares enough about my well-being to go, hey, do you have dishes just like in your room that you haven't taken care of? No, I usually don't. I usually don't because I'm usually pretty decent at taking care of that stuff. But you know, the care and attention is very nice. It definitely weighs my annoyance. That outweighs my annoyance. Why did my phone crash? There we go. Okay. My phone Twitch crashed. That is not good. It's back now. It's back now, which is awesome. But the fact that it stopped working for a little bit sucks and is a little scary. He is looking at you. He's looking. He's looking. He's staring at you even. There's no respect in his eyes. So basically, the idea of why he's the man. Basically the idea that my friend and I had of like why this dude would be the main antagonist is he's not doing any of this like of his own accord. He's like his boss is somebody who just he hates fun. His boss hates fun. And so he said this dude who is just having it rough to like take care of things. And this dude's tired and he just wants to go home and everything like all the flashing lights and everything is too much for him and just everything. Just like everything is going wrong for him, and then there's just you come in when he's trying to at least get something to eat, and then he sends you to hell. He sends you to hell because he's having a very bad day. And so that's sort of the idea of this guy. He is very lazy. He is very tired. He does not want to be here, but he's also incredibly powerful. He is insanely powerful. Like send you to the beginning of the universe, uh, and then back again, and then sends you to hell, and then you escape, and then sends you to your mind palace, and you know like that kind of stuff. I'm actually gonna get rid of this little chin thing here. I don't really like how that looks. That's not very gamer. If I lower this to like yeah 66, lower this one to like 75, and then make a new layer. But what do I do with this layer? He's already perfect. This little dude's already perfect. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at him go. He's very cool. He's very cool and funny. He's very cool and funny. I might actually raise this back up to like 100 maybe. And then at the very bottom here have look at this little man. Look at him go. He's very silly. He's very silly and I love him. "24. There is 20 size 24 brush. Size 24 brush. It's very cool and good. Also, a little bit of a self-insert, but sort of the head guy of the circus is going to be my funny little Bon man, my funny little bunny dude that I have as PNG tuber because that's funny. It's funny, and I need to put him somewhere because technically this is I am wearing a suit of him. That is what I. So I'm going to try and figure out how to get him into this art style that I'm working on right now. I'm going to have to edit those coughing noises out. I hope I hope he's okay. I really hope he's okay. Those are concerning noises. Those are very concerning noises. Let me turn my light on. I realized that my light was off and it's a little dim today. Today is a kind of dim day in terms of light. Hmm. Why I say those coughs are a little concerning is because people have just been kind of getting sick in this house, and I feel like I'm also coming down with something. Blue.
What if I was blue? What if I was blue? Epic blue fail, epic blueser.
Look at this man. See how he's funny? Look how silly this individual may be. Let me lower it down to like, no, 25. Oh my god, I love him so much. I love him so much. He's really helping with the vibe. He is such a good helper.
Wrong brush.
That is wrong brush. Let me get right brush immediately. Let me get right brush immediately. Let me smooth this out a little. Let me smooth out a little. There we go. What if I did silly and also did this? What if did this? What if this was done to him? There we go. I'm subjecting him to horrors. Horrors also known as more magenta, sort of pinky. Look at him go. It is wrong color. It should be this blue. Just so that I can shrink down the color palette a little bit. It's so ugly. I love him. And if I copy, put this lower. Alright, there we are. We are definitely developing this character design. God, I am just like deeply enthused by the concept of this character existing, frankly. think 25 should be fine. Yo, I'm working on concept art for my funny clown game. Because I decided to split up the first and second half into very different vibes into two separate games. My friend actually drew this concept design for this being like the main antagonist, and I'm sort of drawing him in my style. This is probably the best thing one of the best things my friend has ever drawn. Just like the vibes are immaculate. I love this little dude so unbelievably much. He's amazing. And right now I'm sort of focusing on rendering him in a funny way to sort of get things working get things working sort of premium like. I'm trying to figure out how to highlight the beard. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to highlight the beard also, which is a little bit more difficult. I think it's funny to have more bold highlighting like this that's technically darker than the skin, which is very funny. I love this little dude. By the way, and it probably is obvious by how he looks. This dude's a little clown wizard. And he is incredibly sleepy. He's an eepy boy, and he's annoyed by your presence, so he'll just, I'm going to send you to fucking hell. And then he actually does. He sends you to hell. He sends you to hell before you die. It's very funny. But it's like, cartoony sort of rubber hose, like cartoon-esque hell with the funny, silly designs. Probably. Like, that's probably what I'm gonna do for that. Hannah, how are you faring today? Also, for like the whole style of this, I'm sticking with my sketch brush through the whole process. Everything's the sketch brush. And it's definitely making a vibe. There's a vibe here. Strengthening your fingerless gloves, were you like Were you like reinforcing them? Or it said glove singular? I I think the thing is that the beard is actually perfect and should not be touched. But yeah, no, this dude's sort of whole story is he does not want to be at the circus that everything takes place in, but he has a boss. Resewing the edges and seams nice. I am not great at sewing. However, I know how to sew. I do know how to sew, and I've been repairing some of my stuff. Uh, I have a pair of jeans that like got ripped, and I added a really nice like patch to it. I think I want to like actively have visual patches on all the stuff that like you know has a bunch of wear and tear on it because I just like that look. It feels very nice. All right, there he is, Mr. Man. Mr. Man approacheth. I just need to do some more highlighting on the shoes. On his 1-2 buckle my shoes. I am like deeply a fan of his guys so much. I have this following. Eh, there we go. There we go. He's very silly and I love him deeply. Look at this man. I'm gonna try and what if I went to 75%? Maybe 80% zoom. Not 800%. That's one too many zeros. There we go. Now I can screenshot it and then post it to a bunch of things. And by a bunch of things, I mean uh, send it to my friend and also send it to the people working on music. Like I'm making progress on this. There is progress here. Sometimes you just have to like create a little blorbo. Sometimes you just have to like invent a blorbo and then suddenly like the world is better for it. There we go. All right. And then I can get rid of that layer. Wizard line art. There we go. Uh, but, basically, like the whole point of this, the whole like point of the game, what the player wants to do is get the best score on everything, like the best audience score, basically. Like there's an in-game audience, and they have like if you do good enough on the level, you get audience points, and you want to have the best performance possible. And then this dude shows up and just like keeps getting in your way because you just like keep crossing paths and he's annoyed that you exist because like he's massively hungover, he doesn't want to be here. Like, he was told to be here by his boss. Wizard color. Wizard shading. There we go. All right. This is probably the best man I've ever drawn. Look at look at this little dude. Look at him. He is so near and dear to my heart. And now that I've drawn this guy and sort of help cement like kind of the funny little art style things I want to do with this game, I'm going to do some environment. I'm gonna try and like figure out how to do some stuff. Long thing. There we go. Starting with a thumbnail. I did. Hold, hold on. There we go. My drawing tablet has like 4 buttons at the top. Uh, and basically, sometimes I accidentally press them. Sometimes I accidentally press the silly little buttons. And that can be a little bit of an issue when I need to keep a consistent brush width, and then I accidentally press this, and then like just start drawing. Because like as you can see on the top, the size is changing. It's quite a silly time. I There we go. Okay. So what I want to have for sure is sort of like a top thing here that reveals the outside space. And by space I mean literally space. Which is going to be super colorful and is going to be like based on those like space photographs from like the NASA telescopes, that are recolored based on like the elements, so they're like super rainbow and super awesome. So I want to have that here, and there's going to be probably like something right here, like the platform here maybe. I think that would be very fun. That's why I'm thinking. Oh, hi! I see you. I see you in there. What are your thoughts on my version of your design? Hi, how's it going? Oh, you're gone. I see. My friend popped in chat for well, not in chat, in the stream for a little bit. I think the advertisements might have gotten them. So space here, probably like a gap there as there's a bit of a platform. Uh, some sort of like fun like bleachers type setup where I can animate little guys very silly. Like little audience guys. Sort of, yeah, and then sort of have them like that, have a bunch of like little rows that's in the background that does not matter as much. Maybe have like couple trapeze maybe, a couple trapeze people that you have to work around. Maybe I'm thinking that would be very cool, and like, you know, they're sort of like on their way doing this sort of motion. We have like maybe something like that. Clown nose. This is this is not the actual design for the main character, maybe. It's just like oh yeah, that's a silly clown and not just like a stick figure. And then there we are and go. There we go. And then we have like a bunch of people in the thumbnail. They're just sort of represented by squimgles, by little like squiggly dooders. I think I think depending on how you're doing in any given part of the level, or like that like whatever level you're in, you'll notice that the audience is like more or less active, like, you know, bobbing up and down, little cheering noises in the background, sort of deal. So like even if there's no like score thing on the top, because I'm thinking the UI should be like absolutely minimal as possible. uh I think it would be an interesting way to tell, like, you're doing good, you're doing not so good. Little tiny story bits are in the audience in the background. Like I think that would be awesome. I think that would be awesome. That would be so cool. Yeah, a diegetic way to show your score before like you actually end the level and see your like final tally. If you're doing really poorly, they'll end up like being relatively quiet, maybe even like a sort of echoey cough noise, but like, you know, faint. Plus, like I could show like little tiny like funny events happening in the audience. I think that would be very funny. Yeah, I'm liking this layout. I'm also very not great at UI design at the moment. I'll probably get better. So like I'm trying to play into my strengths a bit uh in terms of like the art and the design of everything, because I just think that that makes sense for me to do, frankly. Yeah, like that. I like that size better. Raise this to like 16 because I still made this size bigger. There we go. Okay. God, I can't get over how much I love this little man. Look at him go. Look at him. Just look at it. Like the funny Patrick Star clip. The actual like seeing the outside like space here is probably not going to be a square. It's just I needed something to like represent that like there's sort of a window there, and usually windows are kind of square. All right. I think, yeah, I think splitting it up a little bit with some like other elements would be kind of interesting also. You know, like the whole thing in the game, there are no actual enemies that want you dead in this game except maybe funny clown wizard man, because it's all a performance. You're all performers in the same circus, you're playing roles, you're trying to like all do the best you can, basically. There we go. There we are. See, I might get rid of this whole platform here, so it's like you have to use the trapeze for a while. There we are. Lower that down to like 75. Have this layer. Lower this down to maybe like 12. Actually, no, I'll lower it back down to like size 8. Do, 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 do. And here's like another place for the audience to be. And like maybe the background looks like it's sort of like not just parallaxing, but also like rotating a little bit. Because I think that's funky. And have sort of just like a vague group of people here also. And like I could place funny hats and stuff on them. I could like shift this like their silhouette colors. That would be very fun too. Do not mind what I've just drawn. It is none of your concern, citizen. Yeah, don't mind the thing grabbing the audience member. That's just fast Loris. Oh, this would go. I kind of like the idea of the shape down here being sort of diagonal and cool. And maybe with like all the background stuff, like there's a bunch of like painted, basically painted set pieces that are like mountains, and it's sort of like the idea of this level is that it's, you know, you're trying to climb the mountain to save the whoever and defeat the what's it. And so sort of like as you go along, it sort of feels like everything's getting higher and higher, even if like the actual, like the background feels like it's rotating. So like you're sort of moving almost like in a circle. Thus circus. Because that would be very funny and cool, I think, frankly. I do not want to shut that, please. Thank you. I wanted to look at a thing. Alright. And so basically, like, this is sort of the idea of a mountain climb, but like in the background, you see like the really colorful, like nebula. I'm very, you know, I'm starting to be happy with how this is turning out. Besides, like, just the funny wizard man, the funny sad clown in his pajamas. He just wants to he just wants to sleep for God's sake. this. If I do that, then we have some cool contrast. Plus, that allows it to look like the mountains have shading and more detail than they actually have. Yeah. The beauty of art is that you can make things have the illusion of detail while doing only a little bit of work. Let me undo that coloring. Not coloring, uh, contrast, like a little contrast piece. There we go. Yeah, and if I do this and have these sort of funny little bleacher bits have maybe like cool vertical boards like this to make them feel tall, maybe? Or it would also be interesting to give a sense of like following direction. Is that you can draw your own weird little blorbos and spicy content for yourself without having to pay anyone else. Exactly. God, every once in a while, I just have to look at this little guy again, and then just sort of feel fulfilled. I guess it makes sense for like my actual sexuality and stuff, but I don't draw very much like spicy content. Even though like it would probably be good not good content, good for like learning anatomy better. Like I don't know, I'm just not super interested in drawing it so much. I love drawing like fun little blorbos and the blorbo from my games. Let's see, with how does this look with the okay, I kind of like it better with the horizontal boards than the vertical boards because it's sort of giving a sense of direction because like the direction that the player is going to is the classic platformer direction of rightwards. So like they're meant to go that way. What if I did something like no, no, that's a little too crowded. I think that works fine. Yeah, I think the boards being like that work out just fine. And then if I have that, and sort of the idea I'm having on this like level idea I'm having not only is sort of like the idea of a vertical climb up a mountain, but also the idea that the whole thing can rotate around and everything is dynamic. So maybe the some aspects of the background repeat, like maybe the bleachers in the background repeat as you go around. But things, the actual props and equipment for the performance swap around as you move around, maybe. A panoptic clown, if you will. Sort of like in the opposite of a panopticon, because it's everything around watching the center rather than the center watching everything around, I guess. God, panoptic clown. I most certainly will not. Don't mind this little guy getting grabbed. That's par for the course. It's just fast, Loris. There we go. This is also helping me learn skills in background drawing because I don't do that very often. You've probably seen most of my art now has been character design. It'd also be fun to try and do some slight random generation for specifically the people that end up in the crowd in the background so that you know make a random the same silhouette but a different color and a little funny little a random hat so that is a bit of variety but also very fun. There we go. And then, as I'm just sort of drawing the snirkles of the head, or the head snirkles, the circles, if you will. There we go. That's a lot of people. It would also be interesting, but maybe hard to do, is that if you're consistently not doing well in multiple uh multiple levels in a row, then a little some spaces in the audience start being empty. People are leaving or just not coming nearly as much. Maybe that would be interesting. But then obviously people who would be doing really poorly would lose the audience, and that doesn't feel very that. Probably wouldn't feel very good. I think I would certainly not feel good if that happened to me. what if I added like some small peaks like this? Also, it's probably kind of obvious, like with the mountains that I'm drawing, kind of like what the biggest mountains near me are, because these mountains look like they're being scrunched up by plate tectonics. They look like the Rockies. These mountains look like the Rockies a bit. Whereas, like, I imagine somebody who lives near the Alps would draw mountains more like the Alps, or or like the Himalayas, or sort of just wherever their nearest like big group of mountains is. Oh, speaking of mountains, a little fun fact I learned is that there's a real mountain in Mexico called Mount Everett, like the funny Undertale mountain, and it looks like the mountain silhouette too. So it's not just like a random mountain with the same name somewhere, which is really funny. And now I'm imagining Sans. Now I'm just imagining. I don't know why it's so funny, but like Sans specifically talking in like the Spanish commercial voice, which is like deep, sultry, kind of fast. Meant to be a bit enticing so that you feel like you want to buy product. Would you like to buy silly hot dog? Yeah, and if I darken that a little bit and then erase some of these here, that sort of helps with that a little bit. And if I there we go. Yeah, that's looking a little bit nice. That's looking a little bit nice. I like that. And having this in the background a bit, and also maybe like having some in the foreground, perhaps, might help to sort of mix in the stage with the rest of the like background and level. And up to the clown, I would rather not, my good sir. That's sort of that. I don't know why I got reminded of this. I caught up with a friend from college yesterday. It was a great time. We played Portal 2 cooperative a little bit. It was very nice. It was very nice and awesome. Which reminds me, I want to show the design for the PNG tuber for my friend that like we're working on. I'm very happy with this. I am so unbelievably happy with how this is turning out. Is very nice. Anyways, back to funny clowning game. If I do this, it'll sort of stay in the realms of the thumbnail. And there we go. Very cool. Very cool. Very awesome. Another fun, like, whimsical thing, maybe, uh, now that I'm thinking about it, is they have like magical floating clouds in the background, and then like maybe the trapeze kind of look uh like they're wearing outfits that look like they're also clouds, and maybe there's some like floating cloud platforms. I don't know. I'm thinking Cirque du Soleil thoughts right now. I enjoy Cirque du Soleil quite a bit. They were in town not too long ago. If I do that and have like maybe another cloud somewhere in this region. Yeah, like so, and then maybe some of these clouds are moving sort of just like in the background and foreground, and add a little bit of dynamic movement. I'm thinking this is probably like near the very start of the level, which is why like it starts on sort of a flat platform, and then you get to like the trapeze, and then you do some of the more complex stuff. I'm thinking like sort of the idea of an ancient city in in above the clouds. Sort of vibe from like this level, I think. And maybe that like might continue to like later levels associated with this one. Sort of, like different parts of the performance. Fix that a little bit. There we go. 66, then 75. And I think maybe I might want to split like what is foreground and background in terms of just for my own sick benefit. There we go. Sorry I'm quiet. I'm trying to think on how to make this thing function. It's starting to come along. Go, 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 come along now. Run away from the humdrum. Da 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 da. Breathe anger and boredom. Dance and sing so sundown and feast with abandon. Da 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 da. Once for the bright sky, twice for the pigsty, thrice for another day. Let's see if I do that and then, this is probably, yeah, like I said, this is probably not the design for the player character. I just need to have like some sort of stand-in for this. So I'm adding in a silly little clown. Just like a silly little individual right here. Da 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 da. Oh, of course I did that on the wrong layer. Oh well, I can keep like doing these little sketch bits on this layer, and then there's nothing more permanent in game dev than a temporary fix. That is true. But that is true, but this isn't this isn't coding. This is like concept art. And concept art in games changes insanely. Unless you're Rayman Origins and then somehow you just kind of like come out of the gate swinging. I don't know how they did that. Let's see, yeah, there we go, and then we do this, and there we go. If if you think, hey, these mountains kind of look like the kind that Bob Ross would paint in his paintings, like sort of in shape. That's because those are also the Rockies. The Rockies is mass. The everything that consists of the Rockies, like the Rocky Mountains, are just a massive span. Like from the very north of Alaska all the way down to like Mexico, kind of long, like thousands upon thousands of miles. And technically, they're a part of one long mountain chain that goes all the way down from like the top of Alaska to like the very bottom of like Chile and Argentina. Um, no, because there is a rift there. Uh, if you want to count the underwater like the underwater ridge that's between South America and Antarctica, then yes, technically. But like there's sort of, I don't know, in my mind, the separation of water, uh like them being underwater makes me not associate them with the same like chain of mountains. The Americas are very mountainous, I've noticed. There we go. Okay. I have not seen that. I didn't know somebody did that. I did Frankly, I didn't know that was possible because there's like that pass between I think Colombia and Panama. Let me look at let me partake in them for just a moment. Colombi life. Also, fun fact about the vehicle that he used. That is my favorite vehicle. I love the VW bus. My favorite's the 71, but like the more iconic version is the 68 version, I think. You know, the one with the it's so good. It's so good. I want one, but I specifically want one that is like converted to be a hybrid and also like highway legal. Because the way they were built originally are not highway legal. They're too slow and the engines are too weak in the original version for modern day highways. I particularly want like sort of an earthy green one with like a like off-white sort of cream top half. Like something about that color scheme is very appealing to me. I don't know. People in the here in the Pacific Northwest just kind of typically like having earthy color schemes to things, so maybe that's why I like that color scheme of like the earthy green and sort of the creamy off-white. It's very good though. It's very good. Okay, if I have these two here, then I can. And then I can sort of do that and. Also, I think that while they're gonna be silhouettes, they all have clown noses. Because I want them to have clown noses. They're very silly. Once for the bright sky, twice for the pigsty, twice for another day. In the Cosmo Sheldrake song that I keep like singing in and out, is that specific line, I think, is a reference to Carnafo, because the two card in Carnafo, I don't know, that's not how you pronounce it, but that's how I just pronounced it. But Carnafo is a two, which is also a pig. And the reason I know that is because I watched a video on Inscription, and and like that whole universe that game is set in, the Carnoffel, like the Carnoffel game and the whole like Carnoffel code, which is a thing in that universe, is like a massively important thing. He was also planning a route from the Isle of Man through Europe, the middle, through the Middle East, through to Southeast Asia, through to Australia. After he made it to Alaska, but the trip kind of got canceled due to COVID. Ooh, and breaking up with his girlfriend. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, that's that would cause a lot of stopping of plans. I ended up breaking up with my last ex like maybe a bit over a year ago now. And it was because like I did a lot of introspection while we were frozen with no power. Like frozen in our house with no power. The power completely went out for a week. So I was just sort of left like to really think about my life. They got stuck in Morocco for a while. I imagine Morocco's nice, but it would still be like very stressful to be stuck there. Like it would sort of be stressful to be stuck anywhere. I think it would be also interesting if I, like with the clown noses on the silhouettes, their color is also random. Like from a set group of like numbers on a slider, I mean. I think that would be fun. Another thing I really like about the VW like bus camper van, like especially the 71 variety, is like how highly customizable the inside is. He's like it would be really fun to have just like a little space in there. Just like a really fun space. And if it was like either like electric or hybrid, because I don't care about it being like a gas guzzler or anything. Gas is expensive. Uh, Fuel for a car is not cheap, especially with everything going on. So it'd be also interesting to have like solar panels on the roof. I think that would be super cool, and like it. extendable and retractable like awning so that you could like open like some like big side doors, have an awning out, maybe have like like some folding chairs out there, maybe like a folding table, and you could just sort of like go anywhere and just sort of relax. I don't know. I'm just dreaming about a funny vehicle, I guess. Which is kind of funny because I am a big fan of trains and public transport, and I usually don't care about cars. But it's like this one specific vehicle I'm just kind of a big fan of. I also like cab over designs just in general, which is probably why I like Gen 1 Optimus Prime so much because he's like a cab over semi. As opposed to like, you know, the big ones with like the massive noses. It'd also be fun to have like a bunch of art supplies, just like uh in said vehicle, and then I could just like go places and then do art and practice like doing environmental pieces of like real life. I don't know, that sounds pretty awesome, actually. An original idea I had for a starting soon screen, which I could still do actually. I could still do, just like redo and rework it, is my funny PNG tuber guy running from the police in in like a VW bus. Like while he's driving, and then like the body, which fun fact, the body is a separate entity that's kind of also acts as a suit. I affectionately call them Don and Bon as like a duo when they're separate. They're very funny. But like, you know, the main like rabbit guy driving the VW bus, and then the body like hanging out off the side. Very dynamic, like very dynamic piece, and then having like the police shouting at them, and the shouting actually says like starting soon. Like that would be pretty fun. That would be pretty fun for like a like one of many starting soon screens. I have a lot of ideas for starting soon screens for like different shows. Like I want to have like a unique Undertale one, because oh boy, the Undertale stuff is gonna be massive and long. Uh, I'm going down a very massive rabbit hole with no escape. I am going insane, and I am having an amazing time going crazy. He's like, there's all this research on like people's interpretations of Gaster. How much does it matter, and how much does it like come from the actual game? No, it doesn't. The only like concrete Gaster stuff we really know is Gaster's theme in the sound test room. The Mystery Man sprite, which is just called Mystery Man, which is literally on a screen for 5 seconds, and and like the secret lab like entries on the wall. Like that's all we know from Undertale. I'm staying away from what we know from Deltarune because this is not a Deltarune series that I'm writing for, researching, and all of that because Deltarune's not done yet. I would like to wait to do something like that until a game is done, frankly. Because like the amount of stuff that ends up being speculation is too much rather than speculation rather than interpretation or like alteration because like we have a chapter swap thing, but because we only have two chapters out as of right now as I'm saying this, unless it like got Shadow released today, smiles sweetly at Tobert Fobert, smiles ever so sweetly. I'm trying to figure out what kind of brushes I want to use for like the like actual like when I actually start on level design and stuff. Like what stuff do I want to have in here for like do I want it to be watercolor? Do I want it to be like painterly? Do I want it to be sketchy? I know I don't want clean lines. I do not want it to be like a super clean, neat and tidy aesthetic. That's as much as I know I don't want. I want it to be bright and colorful, and I want it to be sort of messy yet cohesive. That line. I said that line. Erase, please. Thank you. The Marine's favorite MRE, aka crayons. That is true. God, I love that. That reminds me of a joke I love a lot, where it's like a Marine gets shot in the head. It's okay. It only hit their brain. Hold on, my cat wants in. Hi, Gracie. Hello. I think I might find those jokes funny because my grandpa was in the Navy for as long as he was, and by that I mean like over 2 decades. So like, I don't know. I grew up with that stereotype of the Marines being just like a joke. I mean, as far as I can tell, it's not wrong. It is a bit of a stereotype though, but it's certainly not wrong. My first encounter with Outer Wilds was pirate software, like a recording of pirate software playing the game. And that is when I fell in love with Outer Wilds. Fun fact. Quite a good game. Marine stands for my ass rides in Navy equipment. True. I don't want to make fun of military people right now too much, and the reason for that is like tomorrow, as of today on this stream, uh, like a bunch of veterans are like going to every single state capital and Washington D.C. to protest like the government trying to cut their benefits and like cut a bunch of VA workers, and they're calling it the Veterans March. And honestly, I'm glad that they're gonna be doing this because it is bad to like cut people's benefits in general, especially when they have so many bad injuries and health complications because they were lied to by a horrible government. Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. It's fine to make fun of the military, but veterans, not so much. I respect the hell out of veterans. I hate the military. There's a difference. In in like a D&D game set in like X-Men universe in the 1960s, I'm playing a Vietnam vet. So you can't exactly do that and hate on veterans or else you're like doing something awful. I feel so bad for especially like Nam vets. Oh my god. They were massively lied to by the government. Well, a bunch of governments, because it wasn't just the U.S. It was a bunch of other countries too that people never talk about. Yeah, but the Confederate veterans are all dead now. They're all dead now in the grave. I will be, a bunch of new public bathrooms opened up after the Civil War. A little known fact. Incredibly cold take, might I add. I hate slavery and slave owners. So, yeah, I guess I don't know. That's weirdly like not a ubiquitous opinion in the United States. But like, I hate slave owners and people who support slave owners. I think that their graves are now public bathrooms. They're all looking up at us right now. God, that's my favorite joke about like Margaret Thatcher and Reagan is like, man, they're looking up at us right now because they're evil and are in hell actively. Maybe if hell's real. I don't know if it's real necessarily. I don't think it's real. Yeah, that is true. it used to be that that they were considered people if they were white. It used to be that way. Now, now it's not even white majority countries. It's just like no other country. Mountains are really fun to draw because I kind of just don't have to think necessarily. I just kind of have to vibe. That does mean though that sometimes I'm just not vibing right and I can't draw mountains. Other times, like I think this time, the mountains are coming along very nice. I'm vibing correctly. But you know, I respect the hell out of veterans and I believe that they should protest in March. And if the police respond badly, which they are really want to do, they really want to like attack protests a lot. That's like their favorite activity. Uh, that's a bunch of veterans. How would you imagine that would go, frankly? I imagine very poorly for the police. What are you gonna do? Scare them with gunshots and explosions? Like they're veterans. They I love these mountains. They're very nice. I wonder if there's a crayon brush. There's chalk, which kinda works. Like if I do chalk soft, like oh that's way too big, but sort of. That sort of works. And what you know what they say when something sort of works is good enough. There we go. Now I'm thinking with portals. I forgot what I just said. CSP has what? I forgot. Oh, a crayon brush. I just remembered a crayon brush. Yeah, well, Clip Studio Paint is cool and awesome. There's sort of no but to that. It's just yeah, Clip Studio Paint is I've heard a very good drawing software. I just like Krita. I don't know. That's why I use Krita is because I like it. It feels nice to use. Yeah. Also, the fact that Clip Studio Paint is really good for web comics. A lot of web comic creators use Clip Studio Paint because it used to be Manga Studio before it before it started changing. And so like I'm a little jealous of the speech bubble technology. Just a little bit though. And I've heard amazing things about that software. I don't know. I just happen to have a preference for Krita. Like there's no like objective reason. It's just I like it. I like it. It's nice. It feels fun to use. I had the thought because the blue bits of like the blue lines that I'm doing for the mountains or just the background in general, but like I'm talking about the mountains here. Uh, I was doing them a little bit too straight, and I thought, man, they kind of look like pyramids. And then I thought, if a civilization builds something so cool that like somebody's gonna go, it was aliens that made it. People couldn't have done this. Honestly, I think that is a massive marker of success for that group of people, frankly. Like people looking at the Egyptian pyramids and going, people didn't make that, it was actually Alamals. Like honestly, that's more of a marker of how impressive those like people and like those architects were at the time. Same with a bunch of people in Meso and South America who made like a bunch of architectural wonders. It's like, if people if there's a people where like hundreds or thousands of years later, the History Channel is gonna go, "You're not real. You didn't do this." I don't know. I might as well I might as well consider that a mark of pride for humanity in general. Let's see. That's nobody's business but the Turks. Istanbul, not Constantinople, no, it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. You have a date in Constantinople, she'll be waiting in Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. Guess people just liked it better that way. Take me back to Constantinople. You can't go back to Constantinople. A long time gone. Constantinople on Sunday night. Maybe she's like. "21, 25. Da 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 da. Space as whole. Da da da. Da 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 da. I have a lot of music that I want to add to a playlist. I just need to do it. I have time, I think. I should fully have time to do it. Space Asshole. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Another group, like a large bit of music that I would love to play on stream, but I'm very sure I can't. I am absolutely very sure I can't. I am not able to. Is the How to Train Your Dragon soundtrack, like all three movies? Because I am pretty sure DreamWorks would smite me where I stand. If I decided to do that, even though the music is it is exemplary. It is magnificent music. Some of the best motif and character writing in music that I've ever heard in a movie series. It's so good and it vibes so hard. It's just, DreamWorks would smite me where I stood. Da 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 da. The clowns are approaching. I hope I can make it to actually make it to the jock stream live tomorrow. Because it's mom I think as far as the last time I checked the schedule, it's a Mom Zerk stream. And I love the I love both of their analyses of Berserk. They're quite good and well informed as usual. Much like the One Piece analysis. Like, they're very good and cool, and it seems like they have a lot of media literacy, which is something I aspire to have. I have some. I have some media literacy, which is more than some other people can say, but I don't have nearly as much as I want to have. The level I want to have is Drock and Mama Drock levels of media literacy. That stuff is impressive. To sort of circle back to How to Train Your Dragon, I saw somebody on YouTube starting a series of like interpreting Wings of Fire dragons in like what they would look like in How to Train Your Dragon, like the style of not the Nine Realms, basically. And they only have the sea wings so far, but it looks quite good. It looks so good. Let's see if I could pop it up on stream. Fire HTTYD. Like, give me just a moment. Screenshot. I gotta scroll because I use screenshots for reference also. But like, this is that person's interpretation of what it would look like. And it's so cool. It is so insanely cool, and I'm so excited to see what they do next. Because my personal favorite is either the sea wings or the rain wings, are like either the funny sea creatures or rainforest individuals. And so both of those make me very, very happy. Yeah, no, like they're super well informed in like the design sensibilities of How to Train Your Dragon. It's so good. It's so good. Their channel is Silly Sugar Gliders. Uh, they're relatively small. They have like 2,500 subscribers. Uh, like they're good. This art's good. It's a little different from their other content a little bit, but like it looks like they're continuing on the series, and it's quite good. All right, back to Combi Life, having it open in the YouTube tab so that I can see it later. Okay, and if I have this, and it sort of goes like that, it's a do something like this, maybe. And then if I decide to very, very default character right around here so that I could just go, okay, so the trapeze The trapeze is here. This is where it is. It's a thing that is happening. There you are. Uh, funny character, not funny character, funny level idea. Certified level moment. I do circles. Uh, Through and then have like that. Maybe it's sort of covering. Have it like this. Have sort of like suspenders. There we go. Okay, that's a bit too large. That's too large. That's too big. So maybe I won't have a character there yet. Like no enemy there, but this is moving. Maybe. Like maybe this is moving back and forth in a pattern. Uh yeah, maybe it's moving back and forth in a pattern so that like, you have to time it properly and then you swing and then you have to jump like on a moving slash floating platform. Or sorry, moving and floating platform, and it's like you're going up doing all these platforming challenges until you reach the summit. And you like meet funny little like characters along your way in this sort of level, and you have to and in the speedrunner levels you have to do it fast enough. Uh okay. What is a very vibrant color? Orange. What's a very vibrant brush? This one. What's another very vibrant color? This green. Yeah, like a little splash of the orange, like around here. Maybe splash a little bit of the green in here. It's a lot easier to make the green overpowering than like other colors I've found. And what's another dynamic color that I could add and is very silly? This one that I already have. And I sort of mix like the green and the orange and the magenta to sort of like mix those kind of funky, silly. This song feels like the perfect kind of song to whistle to, but I'm bad at whistling because turns out when you grow up with somebody that in the house that has massive sensory issues when it comes to whistling, I you don't tend to whistle very much. So I don't have a lot of practice. Also, I hope that I don't sound too echoey. I'm leaning back rather than forward so that, I don't end up being unhealthy right now. What if I just what if I also added some red somewhere? Maybe. This is coming out colorful like I wanted, which is great. But yeah, what if I added a little bit of orange to blend that in? What if? What if I was silly like that? Turns out being silly like that is a good idea. What if I add a bit more green here, though? That, like, there. What if? What if? Hear me out, chat. What if I added some more red down here? And blended that in a little bit, maybe added more of this, like, magenta. Like so. This is starting to turn out awful pretty. It's just that this sort of, like, colorful thing sort of needs a lot of leeway. Not a lot of leeway, a lot of finagling. Man, I can't believe that man, this game is so woke. They made space gay. I can't believe it. They've made space gay. Hmm. What if I added a little bit of like a full on purple? What if I did that? What if I'm what if I'm doing it right now? What if mixing all of this stuff up made very pretty colors? That's what I believe it's doing, is it's making very pretty colors. I want to add a little more orange because I want to have enough orange that the orange is oranging, but not too much orange so that there's not too much orange. I like this. I like this background so far. It's very good. It's very, very good. I may have messed up a little bit there, but overall, it's very nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's very good. Just like as a very basic thing, quite good. Quite good. I like it. I'm imagining if I go with like the funny crayon aesthetic idea like you suggested, which is interesting and I kind of want to go through with that. I could take some inspiration from like Yoshi's Island because like that's very crayon like children's storybook type aesthetic and that's very nice. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, or like oil pastels, which are kind of like crayons, but like really fancy. Like those fancy pastels could also be a really cool aesthetic. That's that's sort of true. That's sort of true, but not quite because crayons are wax, whereas like pastels are oil, which like means that they blend with each other differently. They're they are incredibly similar. It's just, their texture's a bit different. They blend with each other differently. Uh crayons melt like crayon uh like smudges melt with high enough heat, but I think the oil like oil pastels do melt, but then they stain something, so like even if you melt off the oil, like you'll keep the color on the thing that you colored on them or colored them on. Or just non-toxic oils. I mean, yeah, but I was referencing pastels, and you said oils, and I saw oils and went, ah, yes, oil pastels, because those are kind of like crayons. And so I made the logical leap. I made that leap in my brain as I glanced over and created an entire illusion. All right, thanks, and thanks so much for stopping by. Have a good time at work. I'm probably gonna end soon once I make some more progress. So like, I'm glad that I did progress on this. Let me Control Z, and like sort of this getting some sort of vibe across. It's very nice. It's very good. Finally. I lower that down to 30, and I can sort of make this easier to see. There we go. That's colored. There we go. Yes, very good. It's very good and awesome. like this. All right, I'm gonna pause that music and I'm gonna go to just chatting. And I'm gonna do my ending spiel now. I've been Bajongles. You can find me over on Bluesky and Tumblr at BigBart1, username Bajongles. You can tell because I'll have the same profile picture as I do here. I post art as much as I remember, which is more consistent than I used to. And if you like my art, consider following me over there. You could also follow me over here on Twitch, where I'm streaming Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays now at noon Pacific Standard Time. And you're probably going to be viewing this uh, on YouTube, and if you like this, then consider subscribing so that you can see more of this. And with that, I will catch you all on the flip flop. See ya.